Alright, y'all, back today with Scoop Squad. This is Lionel. I'm going to showcase my Shaddoll deck profile for y'all. I actually recorded this video once already, didn't post it because I made a mistake when I made the video, so I'm making it again. So here we go. Too windy. With the way that the deck functions, I don't really think that you need more than two. It's fine just like this. It lets you special summon a Shaddoll monster from deck as its flip and its grave effect, which is really awesome and really cool. But the deck does what it wants to do playing this at 2. Since you're just going to end up sending it anyways most times. 2 Hedgehog. Send to grave, add a Shaddoll monster from your deck to hand. Flip, you can add 1 Shaddoll spell and trap from deck to hand. Flip effects don't come up too often. Actually, this deck is really based around graveyard. So very rarely do you get the chance to resolve all that kind of stuff. 2 Beast, easy, just draw power. I'm gonna play 2 Squamata. It's a foolish for the deck, archetypal. It's really good. Definitely use it. If you don't open up a spell or a trap and you can get this to grave, you can send 1 and then potentially get it back if you have like instant fusion in hand. So that's kind of one of the reasons why I like Shaddoll Squamata. And then his flip effect is to target 1 monster on field and destroy it. And the one-ofs, play 1 Falco. You only really need 1. Let you special summon from grave and face down defense. And if it's sent, you can special summon this card and face down defense. Flip effect, target 1 card your opponent controls, return it to hand. And then if it's sent to grave, target 1 spell or trap and destroy it. Just removal. Then we have Aerial. Flip effect, you can target 1 of your banished Shaddoll monsters to special summon this, or to special summon it. Or, sorry, target 1 of your banished Shaddoll monsters and special summon it. That's really cool. And the combo with it is that what you'll do is you'll summon this with Resh and Grave, and then you'll banish Resh along with what you want to special summon back to target this to flip it face up so that you can special summon what you just banished really easily. It's not the most important card in the deck, but it does help with niche combos and things. Also, it's a water. Anoyatilis, if I ever want to summon it. Now we're on to the non-Shaddoll monsters. Triple Math. Self-explanatory. It does everything for the deck. Its destruction effect by battle doesn't come up very often. It lets you draw a card. But it's mainly you just being able to send 1 level 4 lower monster so that you can start your plays and get going. Then we play Performance Engine. This one is a lot different from most people's. I like the 1 Damage Juggler and the 2 Trick Clown because I want to see Trick Clown. I don't really want to see Damage Juggler. I want to send Damage Juggler off an effect. So that I can banish it to get the add off a Trick Clown and then use Trick Clown in my hand to summon something. Because when this card is sent to grave, target 1 performance monster, basically always itself, then special summon it. And you do take 1,000, but that's negligible. So yeah, this is how I like it. It works for me. I don't know about y'all. Then last is just Ash, because it's Ash. Interaction on my opponent's first turn. This deck wants to go second. Then we're playing triple Shaddoll Fusion. I'm into the spells. I don't need to explain Shaddoll Fusion and Shaddolls. Let you special summon or fusion summon using monsters from deck if your opponent controls an extra deck monster. So, yeah. Or I should say special summon from the extra deck, just so that we make sure that we don't get those technicalities mixed up for some people. It is the best enabler in the deck, obviously. Starts everything. Then you play triple L Shaddoll Fusion. Card's also really good. It was limited for a while. If you don't open a fusion in this deck, you're basically just dead in the water. And very occasionally do you actually open hands that can get you a fusion to your hand if you don't open one. So yeah, play triple. It's also quick play. We can use it with App Cologne combos or summon window on opponent's turn. Just make them cry, you know, basic window shenanigans. 1 Neff. A lot of people don't play this. In pure builds, people will typically play 1. And like I said, if you don't open a fusion, you're dead in the water. Also, it sets the attribute for the fusion to whatever this card is equipped to. And that's really cool too. But that doesn't really happen very often since you end up making like Winda or Construct, and you typically have those materials already. But it's really niche if you need the effect. But yeah, just one. Only need one. If one. Then the best card in the deck, Super Poly. Don't need to explain it. It's a kaiju in spell form. You don't get the effects of your Shaddoll monsters off the discard because the discard is cost. So keep that in mind when you do discard off of this, since newer players might not know that. But yeah, this card is a kaiju in spell form. And I play one of every single attribute of Shaddoll monster, just so that I make sure that this card can be used to kaiju off anything on my opponent's board. Okay, obviously you also don't really need to play or summon a Shaddoll monster. You could also summon other targets, like Mud Dragon, what is it? It's Duplex, and then the Guard Dragon Link, or Fusion monster, so that you can just rip apart spiral boards. But yeah, this card is insane. One of the best, stupidest cards ever printed on cardboard, and then in Shaddolls, it's even more insane. Next, we have triple instant fusion. You can use this to summon Winda. And I also play Thousand Eyes, so that's really nice. Instant fusion is for the Thousand Eyes play. You can also use it to bring out Winda, and then once you bring out Winda, if you want to recur a Shaddoll spell and trap from grave, you can just use her and get her in grave for that. So that's one of the really important interactions with instant fusion in this deck, is sometimes it'll fix your hand if it's not exactly where it needs to be. Yeah, it's for going second interaction since this deck goes second. Double Called By. I play Called By because it's a good card. I'm not going first, so I'm not really, focused on stopping every hand trap ever. Since my opponent's board is typically established by the time that I get to my turn. But if I don't use it for a hand trap, I'll just set it. Since it's like almost every deck at this point is graveyard reliant, you can find some way to use this to stop your opponent. And if you're really smart about it, you can just stun their whole entire play. So yeah, only played it 2. We play Triple Mind Control. Another card that is insane. If I could play it at 3, I would. Steal your opponent's Appaloosa, steal their sleeper, watch them cry. But yeah, this card's amazing going second. It's one of the best blind second cards along with Super Poly and Instant Fusion. And the last spell, Foolish Burial. It's Shaddolls, I don't need to explain that. And then on the play 2 traps, Shaddoll Core, and then Rest Shaddoll. Shaddoll Core, you can summon with any attribute. You can substitute this monster for one fusion material that lists an attribute. So yeah, that's really cool. Special summons with 1450 attack and 1950 defense, but that doesn't really ever come up. What makes this card good is that you can send it to get the add back on a spell or trap, Shaddoll spell or trap in your grave. So that's really nice if you need it. That's why you only play 1. It's just really in niche situations where you may need to get a recursion that you couldn't have gotten without it. And then Resh. So it is a back to the front for the deck. Special summons in face up or face down defense position. But the really cool effect is that you can banish this in one Shaddoll card from grave to flip up or flip down a monster that you control. And you can only use one of each Shaddoll effect or one of each Resh effect per turn. Or only use one effect, per turn. So be mindful of that. If you use the first one, you can't use the second and vice versa. That's the end of the main deck, but I do want to stress something to y'all. These cards say you can only activate. You can only activate 1 per turn. If these cards are negated, you can use them again. It doesn't count as the 1 activation if it stopped. Just so y'all know. Because some people don't know that. So it's good that y'all do so that you understand that if that does happen, then you do have the chance to actually use these cards. I think that the one thing about that, the only one of the few cards that really doesn't interact that way is Ash Blossom. It doesn't negate the activation of the effect, it just negates that effect. So if somebody ashes a Shaddoll fusion, you can't activate it again. Since that effect wasn't, or since the activation wasn't stopped, just the effect of the card was stopped. So yeah. All right, on to the extra. I'm still working on it. A few things I have at too high ratios and need to bring down and figure out what I want to play instead. Construct. Don't need to explain why I play Construct at 3. Some people played at 2. I prefer it at 3. I want to resolve it as much as possible, and I want to make sure that I always have enough so I never look in my extra deck and don't have this card staring me in the face. Send Shaddoll cards from your deck to grave. Soft once per turn. You can use it every time it's summoned. And then when it's sent to grave, which all the fusions have this effect, except for Apiclone because it's a bit better, you can add 1 Shaddoll spell or trap in your grave to your hand. So it's how you recur with your Shaddoll fusions and your El Shaddolls and all that stuff. So yeah, Construct insane. And then also its other effect that destroys, I think it's special summon monsters. If it battles with a special summon monster, it destroys it before damage does, so that you never actually reach it. 3 window. Don't only need 3. It's only good at, it's better at 2. Window pass first turn isn't as good as it used to be. It's still a blowout against some decks. It's still a blowout if a deck doesn't open what it needs to get over it. But yeah, window's still insane. And like I said, you can summon off an instant fusion for that weird stuff. And yeah, it's a window. It's good. 2 Apiclone. I'm gonna bring this card down to 1. I don't really ever summon it, but it has a really good effect. Cannot be destroyed by battle. If this card is special summon, you can target 1 face-up card on the field and negate its effects. That's the first effect. And then the second effect is if this card is sent to the grave, you can add 1 Shaddoll card from your deck or graveyard to your hand and discard 1 card. So this card can be used as an extender, or you can summon it off of El Shaddoll on your opponent's turn so that you can like negate a monster or anything else. But yeah, I'm bringing this down to 1. I'm gonna open up space. And I play 1 of every single other one. 1 Grista, 1 Shek, 1 Anoyatilis, and then 1 Wendigo, which everybody loves to hate on Wendigo. And mind you, you never really summon it, just like you never really summon any of these. It is a kaiju, thanks to Super Poly. It's a kaiju for wind attribute monsters. So I play them all at 1, so that I can kaiju anything I may need to kaiju. God, I wish Shek was as good as it used to be. Alright, now all I got left are Link monsters. 1 Shaddoll Construct. Doesn't come up, basically ever, but you play it in case it does come up. It lets you fusion as part of its effect. Then if this card is in your grave, you can send 1 Shaddoll card from your hand or face it from field to special summon this back. You can only use each of those effects once per turn. Like I said, you don't ever really summon it, but you play it just in case you do need it. I always prefer safety, so I play cards that I feel like could be important to me. Just so that when I get to those spots where I look in my extra deck or look in my deck and think, oh my god, if I had played this card, I would have been able to make it out. This is one of those cards. Then 1 Cross Sheep. Card's insane. Went up to like $13. Don't know why. I don't know why a rare would ever be that high or should be that high, including Droll. But yeah, the fusion effect lets you special summon 1 level 4 or lower monster from your grave. And I don't need to explain why that's useful. It's an extender. It's good. Helps you get up into Boral Sword. Boral Sword, self-explanatory. You can actually summon it really easily in this deck. And it's OTK fuel. So, yeah, play Boral Sword if I need to OTK my opponent. And that's the deck. I play up here. I don't play any of the Invoke stuff. I don't really care for the Invoke stuff. I've always preferred to play decks pure, and I think that Shaddoll, even without the Invoke stuff, is still super strong and really insane, especially with Super Poly. The card coming back to 3 was... I almost don't want to say a mistake because I don't want them to redo it. But yeah, it's insane in this deck. And all of them are now Kaijus because of it, all the fusions. So yeah, thank you all for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you see that I did anything head ass, you know, tell me. If you just want to comment about the deck in general, I look at the comments. I read them. We can talk. I'm chill with that. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and until the next one.